One of the things I would recommend immediately after starting a new job is setting up your 401k plan, and specifically your Roth 401k plan. This is something that I am recently just setting up now, and I'm noticing some different investment options. Now, every 401k plan, depending on the sponsor, will have different type of plan funds and things you can choose from. For example, if you sign up for a plan through Empower, Empower is the network that my 401k plan is through, my new position. And the thing is, check out Dealer CX, by the way. Great company. That's the company I'm working for, Dealer CX. Anyway, they're on the cutting edge of artificial intelligence for car dealerships. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Check them out. Small plug for my company out there. Okay. Anyway, guys, the point is, and no, they're not paying me to say that besides my normal salary. I promise. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much though for tuning in. Look, when it comes to what we were just talking about is the 401k plan. Now, there's going to be different choices you can typically choose from. Let's say you have different funds. Sometimes you might even get the ability to self-direct, and I wish more plans allowed this, where you could actually just buy like ETFs or individual stocks, even if you feel comfortable enough self-directing your own portfolio, which we help you do on Invest Daily Pro, by the way. You can check that out if you're interested. Now, additionally, what we think about here in terms of, what types of funds do they have inside the 401k? One of the things I noticed with my new 401k plan is that they actually offer specifically real estate. And what's interesting about real estate is that it pays a consistent income stream. And so they have a real estate fund. And so what I've decided to do is I've decided to go ahead and start investing into real estate. It's just basically going to put it into a diversified fund of real estate investment trust. And you're going to be able to get diversified exposure into the real estate market through that specific fund. And there's low fees. It's like less than 20 basis points. So it pays a 3+% yield, I believe, or around there currently. And my plan is just to reinvest, and also, put 8 to 12% to begin into that 401k plan, in addition to my own other types of savings that I plan on putting aside in other accounts. But the thing is, you have to start with something. And especially if you're like rebuilding. For example, I'm rebuilding from a divorce. And so this is going to be a good opportunity for me to go ahead and start rebuilding for retirement, kind of get a little bit aggressive in terms of the savings rates if I can, and ramp it up. And once that initial ramp happens, what's going to be interesting is that with this real estate that I plan on investing in within this new fund, with the reinvested dividends, it's called the dividend snowball method. And if you've ever paid off debt, you're probably familiar with the debt snowball method. Very similar. Basically, the idea is in reverse, which is a good thing. It's even better than paying off debt is what I'm saying. So your income continually grows as you not only reinvest the dividends, but you additionally are pouring more money into the fund. And so if you ramp up those 401k contributions even more, then you're actually going to basically grow your portfolio more and more over time to the point your income. And what I mean is your income is going to grow over time. Which is amazing. So like when you go to retirement, for example, if you're 50 or 60, and I have a friend I set up, for example, in a Roth 401k at my old employer, actually, and he knows exactly who he is if he's watching this. He's probably not, but he set up at, initially 15%, and he came to me and he said I put him too aggressively, too much. He didn't want to invest 15% into the fund. And I told him, I said, that's fine. Let's lower it down to 10%. Let me know when you want to adjust it once again. And so still he's putting 10% of his income. He's way ahead of most people. And he's doing it on a Roth basis. And that's the thing. So you don't get any kind of tax deduction on that. And so basically, here's the thing. The traditional, you get that nice tax deduction, but, you get the idea. Basically, the taxes are due up front with a Roth IRA, and they are not, like for a traditional, it's the exact opposite. You pay, you get the idea. Okay, the point is, Roth IRA long-term is the best solution in my personal opinion. And that's what I'm setting up for, specifically with the real estate compounded, and at the current rate, even if I get a 10% rate of return, I've been calculating a six-figure balance, even at just 8%, within 10 years. And so right there, you should be looking at that and saying, okay, that's just 8%. Now, what other accounts could I build that might have a little bit more aggressive growth, that might have the ability to have some of those stocks that really do well and can grow my portfolio? So then you start thinking let me put another 4% into this portfolio. This portfolio might be for small cap stocks and stuff like that. But the 401k is the absolute cornerstone of where you should start. So I'm going to start investing in real estate. Now, that doesn't mean you should start investing in real estate or real estate investment trust more specifically, but it does beg the question, if you have a 401k, what would be most suitable for you? And that's ultimately, if you're working with a financial advisor, if you're working with somebody, that's going to be a question for them. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I did work in the industry, brokerage, services, Series 7, 63, that type of stuff. But I'm not a licensed financial advisor. So at the same time, please understand that, it's based upon your risk tolerance, your investing goals, and ultimately what your financial advisor and you work out with your specific situation. But you're going to have a choice when you log into, so you're going to be able to choose between small caps, mid caps, large caps. You might even get to choose between bonds, bond funds, real estate, and a variety. Now, it's easy just to, pick 5 or pick 6, pick some random ones, pick 2 of them, whatever. But I would really encourage you to look through the fund offerings and do your own research. Now, we have the ability to do unlimited research on ETFs and mutual funds with Invest Daily Pro. That's one of the major benefits you get when you sign up for a pro subscription. Right now, it's only $49 for the entire year, by the way. You can check it out below if you're interested. Memorial Day sale, it'll be over with by the end of the day, actually. But here's the thing. Everybody who is looking at increasing their wealth through the stock market has to ask themselves the question, are they going to invest, into high-risk assets? Are they going to invest in small caps? Are they going to invest in stocks that have the ability to rapidly grow their portfolio? Or are they going to invest in, and remember, this also means that you can lose a lot more too. And, so if you're investing in a small cap fund, you're a little bit more safe. But if you're investing in individual small cap stocks, now you have, let's say, the typical 2-stock portfolio, as I learned about initially in one of my finance classes, where you have a 2-stock portfolio and it gives you the standard deviation. It gives you everything you need to calculate the volatility of the stocks and the beta and all that type of stuff, because of the fact that it's just between 2 stocks. But if you invest in an ETF or a mutual fund, that's the beauty of investing in your 401k as well. They're going to have those fund offerings set up for you, and you're going to get to choose specifically based upon your risk tolerance and investing goals what you want to invest in. Obviously, with small caps, though, if you invest in like something along those lines versus a bond fund, there's going to be much higher risk, much greater degree of risk with the small cap fund. And so your returns are going to be priced accordingly. That's another lesson that you can learn from finance, and that, stocks and real estate, these types of assets are going to generally have, small cap stocks in particular, and then mid caps, large caps, real estate, and then bonds are last, especially treasury bonds, because they're seen as the ultimate safe haven on the risk curve. And so when you're looking at these funds, it's just something to keep in mind, because that's how you can kind of gauge what you want to potentially invest in. Do you want growth? Do you want income? Do you want a combination of it? And you can kind of go from there and ask yourself that question. But with that being said, I hope this helps somebody out there. This is kind of an intro for individuals who are trying to invest in their 401k, because here's the thing. Most people don't find this exciting. They don't like it, and understandably so. But if you are interested in learning more about money, and you want to try to get help, and you really want to start investing in the stock market, maybe you're one of the 40% of Americans out there who have never opened a brokerage account or anything like that, please check out the guide I built below. It is going to help you tremendously. It is totally free, and you don't have to do anything. Just check it out. If you like that, sign up for the newsletter, and check out the other free resources we have on the website. So please, thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you all on this Memorial Day, if you're watching this on Memorial Day, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.